Happy New Year, happy 2020. And what an absolutely incredible year this is going to be. I am so happy to be back with you guys. This has been the longest 3 weeks of my entire life. Yeah, so it's been great to have a rest. That's been really great because I've definitely needed a rest. Worked so hard in 2019. Got to spend some wonderful time with my children and my husband over the festive season, which was great. Ate lots of food, did nothing for a lot of the time, tried to stay completely off of all types of social media, failed occasionally, but didn't do too bad. Went for lots of walks with my children and my husband, and that was great. I would be very interested to know how you guys did over the Christmas period in terms of getting back with members of your family that you potentially have not seen for a long time. The reason I ask that is because for me personally, what I experienced over Christmas, well, I don't even know how to put it into words, to be honest. For me, I keep myself very much to myself. I do that for a very specific reason, and that is to keep my frequency high. When I am left to my own devices, I am a naturally very positive and high frequency individual. And most of the time, the only company that I have are my children and my husband. And they also are high frequency people, and our house is a very happy place. And the only other people that I tend to see are my clients, so my Qhht clients. And I only do 3 sessions a week. So I see 3 people a week who normally are totally switched on and awake because they're coming to see me for a Qhht session. So I don't really see that many people. You know, when I do the school run with the kids, I'm in and out straight away, and I take my frequency into the school, hi, and come out. Nobody has time to affect my frequency. The same in the supermarket. I take my frequency to the supermarket and I speak to everybody, and then I leave them with my frequency. But over the Christmas period, you have members of your family that come from all over the place, that all have varying levels of frequency, and you're all brought together through Christmas, and you are all expected to spend this proportion of your time together and be happy with all of the different frequencies in that same space. And it's love that gets you through that, the love that you hold inside for your family. You love your family because they're your family. But it doesn't stop the fact that all of you have very different frequencies. All of you have very different views. I found that out over Christmas. Oh my goodness, the 3D world is just a minefield. You just can't mention anything. It's like walking into an actual minefield with bombs everywhere. Don't stand anywhere because you'll trigger somebody. Just have a drink, sorry. So what I learned very quickly over Christmas is basically just to keep my mouth shut. So I'm really excited about recording this video today because for 3 weeks I've not been able to have a conversation with anybody, and can't contact any of your friends because you don't want to encroach on their Christmas times with their family. So it's been a hard slog, guys, and I'm sure you felt exactly the same way, and I'm sure you've had the same experiences as me. But literally to the point where I got to the point where I realised I was far too happy for everybody. That was really annoying everybody, even though it's Christmas. I had far too positive an outlook on life for my entire family to cope with. They just can't cope with that. They can cope with death, destruction, doom, gloom, moaning, sadness, all that kind of thing, but they can't cope with choosing to think about things in a positive manner, and just literally don't talk about anything to do with anything that's going on in the 3D world. And none of my family will ask me anything about me or what I'm doing in life, because I am the weird one, the strange one, the one who hears voices. Oh, whatever. So hypnotherapy is woo-woo. Hypnotherapy is woo-woo, but you know, if it comes in a medical journal and it's signed off by the medical profession, then it's okay. But hypnotherapy is woo-woo. Yeah. So I have a little message for all of you guys watching this video, that if this rings a bell for you, then it is for you. To all of those people that were made to feel like they were less than over this Christmas period, you are not less than. You are wonderful. To all of those people who were made to feel like they are weird and strange and unusual and different, you are perfect. Absolutely perfect. And do you know why? Because you chose to come here to this crazy world where everything is backwards, where everybody's outlook is predominantly negative, where there is death and destruction and chaos, and that is considered to be normal. You chose to come here and to bring your specific frequency to this world, to this realm, to help save this planet and to help save the souls that were trapped in this frequency. And that, to me, there is no greater act of love, unconditional love and service, no greater act than to do that for others when it will affect you in such a strong way. So if you're ever feeling low, if you're ever feeling sad, if you're ever wondering, why did I agree to come here? If you're ever thinking Ascension's taking too long, is it ever going to happen? All of these thoughts and feelings, they're normal. And trust me, all of us think it. But I just wanted to say to you today, you are absolutely perfect in every single way. You are a higher consciousness being that has come here out of love to help change this world and to bring your frequency into this low frequency place to make this place a better place to live. And that, for me, is the greatest act of service and the greatest act of love. So thank you from me to you, and I love each and every one of you. And for every one of you that found Christmas tough, yes, it was tough this year. It was tough. It was great to see family members that we've not spent much time with this year. I love each and every one of my family dearly, and I would fight tooth and nail for them. But I have to keep my frequency high now, because that is why I came. That is why all of us came, because this entire ascension is all about frequency. This realm, this world, has purposefully been kept in a lower frequency for a long period of time. The darkness knows how to manipulate us, how to control us. It's had higher levels of technology than we have been, the people have been able to have access to, and it has kept us in a low frequency situation. And now, because of where we are in the universe, we are now in a time where we have an opportunity to raise our frequency and to get out of this 3D frequency fence and to grow into a new dimension of consciousness. And that is exactly what's happening right now on the planet. You know, we're not called star seeds for no reason. A seed, you drop it in the darkest of places and you give it certain things. You give it light and you give it water, and that seed grows. And that is what we are here to do. We've been chucked into the darkest of places, but we are the strongest of the strong. And no matter what conditions are in this realm, no matter what conditions are in this realm, we will find that light inside of us to grow and to keep growing and keep growing until we reach that new frequency and we reach the physical manifestation of the new earth. I had a quantum healing session myself before Christmas with the absolutely incredible Yvette Shepherd. Yvette is wonderful. She's one of the only people that I know who has a very, very high frequency consistently. So I know whenever I contact Yvette, it's going to be great because her frequency is always high. And being an empath myself, whoever I am with, I take on their frequency. I can't help it. It's just how I am. So to be with Yvette is amazing because she's super high frequency. And you may well remember before Christmas I shared a Qhht session that I conducted on Yvette, and she channeled the Council of Nine. Well, the week after that, I went to Yvette's house and she did a Qhht session on me. And me being me, I was like, oh yeah, no, it's fine. Yvette asked me if I wanted it videoing and I was like, no, it's only me, it's not a problem. Oh my goodness, I really regret that now. Really wish I had, really wish I'd have said yes to having that session videoed, because I would have given anything to have physically seen how my body looked and how my face looked at certain points during this particular Qhht session. As many of you know who followed my channel for the past year, I have had several Qhht sessions myself. Having a Qhht session myself is what made me train to be a Qhht practitioner, because I just wanted more. And I just wanted to have access to this kind of stuff on a daily basis. And you know, there's only so many Qhht sessions you personally can have yourself. So I try to have one myself every 6 months to see what other information I can get access to. And through my journey of Qhht, the very first session I ever had, I saw lives on Earth which were tied to the karmic situations that I have encountered in this lifetime. So that explained to me why many things have happened to me in this lifetime. And then since then, every Qhht session I've had, I've gone into this lifetime as Aurora, who is this incredible lady. I really don't know how to describe her, to be honest. I guess she's all the things that I would like to be. You know, defends people, so kind, in touch with the crystal community, looks after the people where she lives. Aurora is based on Alcio, which is the central sun. It's the biggest, it's the sun in the Pleiades. And Aurora is a high frequency being, much higher than I am as Laura. But I'm guessing on Alcyone, she's probably one of the lower frequency beings on Alcyone. And when I've had Qhht sessions and I've gone into the consciousness of Aurora, I've seen through the sessions that she lives on Alcyone, which we perceive to be a star. It's the central sun. But to Aurora, because of the level of consciousness she is at, it doesn't look like a star to her. It looks like a planet. There's flying rocks with vegetation on that have got huge crystals on. There's underground caves with huge pools of the most purest, incredible water. And on Alcyone, Aurora doesn't eat. She gets her energy from the planet itself, from immersing herself in water, and also the energy from the light source from the planet itself, I guess. And I have seen through various sessions of being Aurora, I've seen that she was the daughter of two people who were considered to be, I don't know how you would describe them, elders, old beings, old cosmic beings. And I believe that these old cosmic beings came from a different universe. So they came from a different universe to this one to help look after Alcyone, which is the great central sun. And Aurora is the daughter of these two cosmic beings. And in one of the sessions that I've had, I saw my parents as Aurora being killed in a big battle with a reptilian army that managed to get through somehow into the airspace of Alcyone. And this was not supposed to happen. This was unprecedented. It had never happened before. We were aware that there had been unrest in the universe, but we were not aware as to the extent of the reach of the darkness. And this totally surprised everybody, myself as Aurora included, because I was just dumbfounded. And that they used that to their strength, the element of surprise, because we just had no idea that this was going to happen. And as quickly as they arrived, they killed my parents, and they left, and that was it. And then I've seen through various Qhht sessions me having meetings with councils and talking about the Starseed project, which was this idea of using time to come back to a different time and alter the outcome of the future. It's all very, very confusing, and it's almost, for my little pea brain, it's almost a step too far for me to get my head around. I have to think about this a lot in order to understand it. But I agreed to come back because we figured out that it was Earth where this stronghold of the reptilians had taken hold. I agreed to come back to Earth at a really way earlier time inside the Earth in order to be here during this time, in order to change the outcome of this point in time, in order to change the future reality. Are you with me so far? So as Aurora, my consciousness, my soul essence, whatever, came from the Pleiades in a future time back to when Earth was just starting to express her consciousness in physical form on the surface. And as Aurora, I have been inside the Earth and coming out occasionally, playing specific important roles for the light on the surface of the planet throughout the ages to get to this point now, where I am now in this incarnation, in order to help with the shift. Hope you followed all of that. If you've got any questions, yeah, drop me an email. I'm not sure I understand it all myself, to be honest, but that is as much as I have managed to gather so far throughout my journey of Qhht. That would explain my obsession with Inner Earth. I'm absolutely obsessed with Inner Earth. It's because I've spent a lot of time there. I'm absolutely obsessed with portals. And I found out through this session that I'm going to read you today, I'm going to read some of the session today, that obviously being the being that I am, I have had a lot of experience of going through portals throughout the universe. That's probably why I'm obsessed with them. And I guess that's why I'm obsessed with all of the different kingdoms, the fairy kingdom, you know, unicorns, the underwater kingdoms, all of that sort of thing. Because I've been here so long now that I've seen it all. I've seen those kingdoms. It's just in this incarnation, because we dropped so low in consciousness, it's just in this incarnation at the beginning, I forgot. I just forgot. An awakening, you're awakening those memories again. You're awakening that part of you that you entirely forgot about. And don't forget as well, you know, all of us, we're multidimensional. So we have different parts of ourselves existing in different dimensions. So a lot of the information that you get, a lot of these knowings, will be coming from your linkage to your multidimensional parts. Now, the session that I want to read to you today, my feet have gone dead whilst I've been sat here, bear with me a second. The session that I want to read to you today is a session that I had personally before Christmas with the lovely Yvette Shepherd, and this is a classic example of how you can link through your multidimensional parts to actually access source, because that is what we did through this session. So I started off straight away. I mean, I think people that meditate a lot, people that have had many Qhht sessions, find it easier to access the theta state. Straight away I was there. And I went into a scene where I wasn't entirely sure whether I was on a spaceship or a space station, but I was either on a spaceship or a space station, and I was pacing up and down. Not emotional for me, as in Laura, but emotional for a higher frequency being. Because normally, as Aurora, I just feel absolute pure love, oneness, connectedness to everything around me and the part that we all play, because we are all one. But in this particular scene that I got taken into, it was just after my parents had been killed, and I was presumably at this space station spaceship to speak to the council of Alcio, to let them know what had happened. And another part of me, so another part of my multidimensional self, which is a beautiful purpley blue light being. They have a huge purpley blue head, but they look like they're made of light. Very, very big oval eyes, but just made of light, very tall. That being is another part of me, but a much higher dimensional part of me. And they came down from their dimension and manifested themselves in that form, so that they had a face, so I had something to connect with. And that being is talking to Aurora. So that's the scene that I went into, and I'll read the portion of the session that I am happy to share from that point. So this is me saying this. I'm on a spaceship or a space station. I'm not sure if it's a ship or a station. I am with the purple being, the tall being that has the large purple head with the black eyes, that I'm starting to realise is a higher dimensional aspect of me. So in this place where I am, I'm with this being that is the higher dimensional part of me. And this being has come down to the point in time where I am to help me, and I am very distressed. I am Aurora at the moment. So I have, it's hard to describe my hair. It's very long, wavy, like a turmeric colour that glows. And I have bits of battle attire on, which is white cloth wrapped around strategic parts of my body. I'm not sure how that's supposed to be battle attire, but apparently it is. Bits of cloth wrapped around strategic parts. With crystals, there's crystals on my body. There's a huge rose quartz crystal on my third eye on a strap on my head. And I am pacing up and down on this space station or ship. This higher dimensional aspect of me is trying to calm me down, but also trying to support me through what I'm going through. I've just experienced a huge shock where I am, in that the reptilians have just come through and killed my parents. That is not supposed to be able to happen. The frequency is too high where we are for them to be able to come through. We have discussed how we can alter the outcome of this and why this has happened. The councils have got together and they have put a plan in place to alter this reality. We have to change the outcome of what has happened. And we can do that by sending people back through what is considered to be time to alter this reality that we have found ourselves in. I want to volunteer to do that. And this higher dimensional aspect of me feels that I potentially am being motivated by the loss of my parents to do this. And I do feel very emotional about that. But I would not ask anybody to do what I would not do myself. So I hope you understood all of that. Then Yvette says, what is the purple being doing now? They are trying to regulate my frequency. They are sending energy from their heart space to me. They are trying to remind me to not be hot-headed. I am a higher frequency being myself, and I must maintain my frequency. Plus, the frequency where I am, they look to me to, wow. And at that point, when I say, wow, what had just completely occurred to me in that moment was I just understood everything. I suddenly understood what I had not been able to understand in this reality thus far. And even now, trying to explain it, I don't get it as much as I did at that particular point in the Qhht session, I understood that this wave that we all talk about in our reality, the wave that's going to come, that will launch us into the fifth dimension, the wave knows exactly when to come. The divine timing of it all. The wave knows exactly when to come because everything is linked. You know, those beings that came back through time from Alcio and from all of the planets, but the wave accesses our sun through Alcio, comes through Source, through various different suns to Alcio, to our sun, to Earth. The wave knows when to come because the wave is released from Alcio, and Alcio is part of us because many of us have come from Alcio. It's all connected, and that was what I was realising at that point. That's why I say wow. So Yvette says, what is it? What is it that you're seeing? I see that Alcio is the central sun. I see that this wave of light comes from Source, through many suns, through the central sun, to our sun. I see how it all works, It's almost like the central sun knows when the point in time is right for that wave to come, to change the outcome of the future that it experiences. That's how the wave knows, because that wave of love comes at exactly the right time, because Alcio knows when that wave is required to be released. This is very complex, how it all works, how everything is in the now. In our time-space reality, where we are currently, we feel like it is taking too long for the wave to come. And the only reason that we feel it is taking too long for the wave to come is because we have come from the future, so we are aware of the wave. Everything is linked. It's all flow. It's beautiful how it all works. And then Yvette says, so the shift, everything is happening in good timing, is it? Is it just us humans being impatient? What is required on the planet? The two worlds are splitting. Consciousness is splitting. What is required on the planet is those beings of light who are here to affect the future by being the past. Those beings of light are here to raise the frequency, to allow the wave to come. The beings that are here need to raise their frequency high enough to trigger the wave. The wave will only come when the beings who are here, who are awake and aware, the higher dimensional beings, starseeds and light workers, the wave will only come when those individuals raise their frequency high enough. So the first portion of the work has been done, which is the awakening. More people will continue to awaken, but what those forerunners, the ones who came for this purpose, need to do is raise their frequency even higher. So when their frequency is resonating at a certain level, this will trigger Alcio. And at that point I became very emotional because I am obviously connected to Alcio. Because Alcio is connected to us. We are Alcio and she is us. So the wave comes from her when she knows that we are ready. We came back in time to do this, to affect the future reality that we are experiencing, because that reality before had not risen in consciousness. It had gone on a different path. The path that it had gone on allowed these reptilian beings to pervade and gain much strength through the universe. So what we are doing now is changing the future by becoming the past. That is why this one here, meaning me, feels the sense of urgency that she feels, because she understands how important this time period is in your reality. It is necessary that those on earth right now join together to raise their frequencies even further. This work is being done at the moment through the work of Qhht on the planet. Much good has been done by the training in this time period of this annual cycle to raise the vibration, not only of the beings on this planet who are linked in, but also to raise the vibration of the planet herself. Much work has been done at key sites across the planet to raise the vibration of the planet and the beings who are here to do this work. Now the work must move into a new phase, which is the phase of linking together and putting the light together to raise the frequency even more. Once the frequency has raised to a certain point, Alcio will know, and she will release the wave of love. It is pure love. It is love from Alcio for those of her that she knows are here in this time period, and she is calling us home. Yvette says, beautiful. The wave of light, when it comes, does it feel like it's far away? Are we quite close to it? We are so close. She will not hold for much longer, but this work must be done. It is imperative that it is done. The darkness, although it is darkness, it joins together. It joins its power together, and it works together. That is what the light must do now. Too long, beings of light have been dotted all over the planet as lighthouses in different areas from each other, maintaining frequency, yes, which has been necessary. But those beings of light must connect now. They must connect hearts. Ego must be left aside. That is very important. Ego must be left aside. Everybody must join together now, in love and in light. Now is the time for that work to happen. It is imperative. Alcio is waiting to send that wave. As soon as that final push is given, where it is seen that we have joined together as the family of light, where we are not separate lighthouses. As soon as it is seen that we have joined together in light and that frequency has been reached, the wave will come. I became very emotional at this point. And I carry on and say, this one, meaning me, this one is experiencing a portion of what that wave will feel like now. And it feels incredible. That wave will come and it will lift those who have in their hearts the higher frequencies. It will lift them so they are resonating physically with the physical plane of the new earth. It will bring the dimension of new earth into physical resonance within them. They are so close. They feel it. They feel it. But what they do not realize is that the final push lies within them. Too long, people in this reality have given their power away to others. Governments, the church. The power lies within. You hold the power. The power lies within you. All of the family of light who came from all of the planets, who heard the call from Alcyone to Gaia, from Gaia to Alcyone, from planets all over the cosmos. This work is so important and so necessary. All must join now. Ego must be left to one side. There is not one individual on this planet who is better than anyone else. All must join together, from all angelic frequencies, dimensions, galaxies, planets. All must join together in frequency and light as one family of light. When that is felt by Gaia, she will join her frequency too. She will join her frequency to that. Alcyone will feel it. Alcyone will send the wave. The wave comes through the sun, your sun, Sol. You are so close. You have no idea how close you are. And all of those beings in this reality time dimension, all of those dark beings who are playing their part of the dark, they play that part very well to cause dissent within the light community. Because you beings of light, you have huge hearts. That's why you are here. But they know how to affect your hearts. They know that they can say certain things or do certain things or create fear, and that will take your energy away. You must join your energies together now, and you must join hearts and frequency and work together to birth the new earth in the physical plane. It is there. It is there to be manifested. And you will meet that plane and see it in the physical reality by joining your heart frequencies together. The power lies within you. The universe will respond. No longer are you to believe that you are powerless. No longer are you to believe that the power of this wave is something that you are sat waiting for. You are the wave. Now that for me is just incredible. And what do I have to say about that? I believe that the darkness have had an advantage over the light for a very long time, in that they have known things that we have not. The knowledge has been taken away from us in this dark, low frequency, because many of us lost access to the other parts of ourselves that are multidimensional. And as our frequency has risen, we have once again found access to our multi-dimensional parts again, and the information is coming back through. I also believe that the darkness are very, very clever. I believe that they create psyops everywhere and honeypots to attract light workers. I believe that they constantly give dates of when Ascension will happen, and then when the date arrives and Ascension hasn't happened, they then know that the energy, the impetus will be taken away from the lightworker community. They're very clever and they know this. And what I would like to propose now is that in this new year of 2020, we take that power back and we start working together as a community, joining our light together as a community, and we do not focus around dates and timescales, because when those dates and timescales arrive and the energy has not been built up to a point where it triggers the wave, all that happens is the energy dissipates. It's like popping a balloon, and we have to start all over again. So what I would like to see in 2020 is almost for the first time, now we're all awake, we're all aware, we're aware why we're here. Many of us have had Qhht sessions, we know who we are and why we're here. I would like to see us now join together and build that love energy, because there is one thing for me that is certain, and that is, if we keep building our frequency as a community of light, as a family of light, if we keep building that frequency and it travels up in that diagonal line, and the new earth reality is here as a parallel line, a certainty is eventually through frequency we will travel up to meet that new earth plane. It is an absolute certainty, it is how the universe works, that whatever frequency you are in this realm, you attract those same types of frequency experiences into your life. So if we all, as a community, join frequency and build upon joy and love, we will bring that new earth plane into our physical reality. That is how the laws of the universe work. You know, the law of attraction, the law of manifestation. If we keep building our frequency, it is an absolute mathematical, scientific certainty that ascension will happen. So that is what I would like to focus my YouTube channel on this year, and that is what I will be discussing this year, and it is building our energy around ascension, getting excited about ascension and staying excited about ascension, not letting any time scales or, you know, when a solstice arrives and ascension doesn't happen or whatever it is, do not allow the energy around our light movement to dissipate. We have to keep building the energy and frequency in order to reach that frequency that manifests the new earth plane within our physical reality. Digressed a little bit there, but I just wanted to take the opportunity to discuss what I feel. That's my personal take upon it. And, you know, everybody who watches this channel, we all have different opinions. We're all different people. We're all living different lives. We all have different outlooks. And it's okay. You know, that's how we got into this sticky wicket, isn't it? That's how we got into this mess, by all of us following people like sheep. What I would encourage people to do is always think for yourselves, you know, analyze everything. See if what people are saying feels right to you. use your own internal inner guidance to work out the way forward for you in 2020. But for me, for my personal way that I choose to believe my outlook on life is, the way that we get from the third dimensional reality to the fifth dimensional reality is through building the frequency that is inside of us. And we do that through working together as a family of light. The waves of energy that are coming in are helping us all the time. They're awakening our DNA. You know, we're being sent different light frequencies from all over the place. And I believe, and we will find this out more as we go along through this session, but I do believe now, and this is the place where I'm at, I believe that the wave is already here. I believe that the wave in the now is just universal love. It's just love from source. So that love from source is always here. What we have to do is raise our frequency enough so that we can access it. So we can access that universal love consciousness, because this reality that we are in has sunk so low that we're in duality. You know, you can experience light and dark in this realm. And I believe those of us that want to evolve, that have a high level of consciousness, that recognize that love is everything, and treating people with respect and treating everything with respect and gratitude, I believe the ticket out of here for those people is through accessing that frequency inside. And as a collective, when we all access that frequency inside, that is when we manifest that new earth plane within our physical reality. Because that plane is already there. The new earth plane is birthed, it's already there. We've got to pull it into our reality. So what I want to do this year, you know, you look at the two worlds, the splitting of consciousness, the third dimensional consciousness, the fifth dimensional consciousness. There's a lot of energy around that third dimensional consciousness at the moment. Lots of hate energy building. You know, in the UK it's Brexit and the resentment felt around both sides. You know, the people that voted for Brexit and were not heard, and the people who don't understand what it all means and voted to stay within the European Union. Both sides feel pretty miffed. In America, it is obviously the difference in opinions and the way of life between the Republicans and the Democrats. I know it's much more than that, but I don't want to go into politics because that triggers so many people, and I don't want to do that. I have my own personal opinion on that, which I'm happy to share if anybody wants to speak to me personally, but I'm not going to do it on here because politics is not what I'm interested in at all. But there are triggers all over within the 3D world, and the hate energy is building around that side of the split. What I want to do in our side of the world, which is the fifth dimensional consciousness, love energies, I want to build energy around that side of the world. I don't want to focus on what's going on in 3D. I don't want to put my attention on that anymore, because that is just going to do what it's going to do. That's going to play out how it's going to play out, and I don't want to focus my energy on that, because that's not the world that I want to end up in. I want to end up in the fifth dimensional consciousness world. So that is where I want to focus my energy. And through my YouTube channel this year, that is what I want to encourage people to do, to put their focus and their energy into the fifth dimensional world that we are birthing. So when the split happens, your consciousness and your energy is firmly anchored within the new earth realm, not the 3D crazy realm. I want to build energy around this realm, because no matter what anybody says to me, and I've had a million people over this Christmas period telling me that Ascension's a load of old rubbish, that Ascension's been spoken about since the beginning of time, it's never happened, it's a fancy idea. That's probably the best one I've heard. Well, what do I have to say about that? Okay, well, Ascension is the entire reason that I am sat here on this crazy planet right now. So if it wasn't real, I wouldn't be sat here. Trust me, I would not be doing this right now. So as far back as I can remember from being on this planet, it's always been about Ascension. There are specific points in time where Ascension can happen. And if you go back to, the ancient teachings around Ascension, back in Egyptian times, they used to teach Ascension. There are 4 opportunities, I believe, within the 26,600 and blah, blah, blah years where mass ascension can occur. And we are in a time now where mass ascension can occur. That is a mathematical, scientific fact if you look through all of the teachings that we have access to on this planet. Ascension is an actual thing. And yes, people have been talking about it for years because look at human beings. Oh my goodness, how much time do human beings need to get their head around something? For certain people to be able to understand that this is something that is actually going to happen. People will say to me, well, I've been awake for ages, I've been awake since the 80s, the 90s, why have I been awake so long? I don't believe Ascension's going to happen anymore. We've been talking about this for 20 years. Well, do you know what? You are such a strong person because you were one of the people that said, this is going to be hard. And I feel like I've got the willpower, the mettle to go in there early in this incarnation and be one of the first ones that wakes up. I think I can do that. So to all of those people that say to me, why have I been awake so long? I don't feel like it's ever going to happen. I thank you so much for being the amazing person that you are and saying that you would go in first. This is a massive thing. Moving from one dimensional consciousness to another is a huge thing. People need time to get their heads around it. And the amount of time that some of us have been talking about this, when the shift happens, there will still be people on this planet who say that they had no idea it was happening. Why didn't anyone tell me? Why didn't anybody tell me that this momentous thing was happening? Nobody told me. Well, all of the information is out there. It's been out there for ages. But you only stumble upon it if your frequency is at the level necessary to stumble upon it. So again, it always goes back to, it's about what you hold inside. If you're ready for ascension, if you are ready to actually go to a different resonance of consciousness, whereby in that realm, all there is love, peace, harmony, joy, oneness, exploring our amazing planet, loving each other as brothers and sisters, everybody, all of us looking after the children. If you are ready for that, then that is what is coming. But many of us have things that we still need to work out within ourselves in order to resonate at that frequency. And so whilst we're sat here waiting to reach that frequency, we need to be doing the work, the inner work. And doing the inner work is what will get your frequency to rise. I've gone off on a complete tangent again, I know, but I have so much to say about this stuff. Literally, I could talk about it forever. I will get back to reading the session now. Sorry about that. Yeah. So that part of the session that I just read for you was Yvette speaking to Aurora, who was in the room with the purple being, who is also another multi-dimensional aspect of me and Aurora, but much, much higher. So Yvette says, are there any other parts of Laura's multi-dimensional being that she is not yet aware of? We are showing Laura now that she is love. She is a part of God, source, her energy. She is many things in many realities and dimensions. She is source energy. She is an expression of source, and she affects everything. Thank you. I know Laura will really appreciate that. Why does Laura feel such a deep connection to the inner earth? Is it because she was initially there when she came here? Yes. She recognises Gaia's soul, her energy signature, and part of her longs to be off the surface of this planet and back inside the planet, where you have to be able to resonate at a specific frequency to access Gaia's inner world. You have to be able to access a very high frequency to be able to enter the central areas of Gaia. Many of the darker ones will bury down through the surface to what they consider to be in the earth. But this is not really inner earth. Inner earth can only be accessed by those who the earth herself knows is there to help her. Those dark ones cannot access the true inner earth. They hold certain magic on the surface by using some of the crystals higher up, but they do not have access to Gaia's inner core. She keeps them out. She holds her spirit in the core. They can affect some on the surface through using those crystals higher up, but they cannot affect who Gaia is, because she holds that and they cannot access that. They do not have permission to access that. Gaia is ready to move her energy. The sun is ready. Alcio is ready. Gaia waits for the family of light to once again remember that it is the family of light and to join hearts and frequency. When this occurs, and it is occurring now, and it will continue to occur, when this reaches a height in frequency, Alcio will send her love to parts of her that are here. Everything is connected. We are all one. And the darkness will not move with the energies. The energies will move to what is called the new earth. And this will raise everything that we consider to be in our universe to a higher frequency. And the lower beings will be contained in a place of frequency of their own creation, no longer able to siphon energy from the light. So the session continues. I'm missing a lot of it out because it contains very personal information about me and who I am, which I would rather leave out. But the next part that I would like to share, at this point in the session, I wasn't aware of this, obviously, because I was under hypnosis, but Yvette described it to me and I heard it on the tape as well. When I listened to it, my breathing at this point starts to become very rapid. I was very, very, very deep at this point. And on the tape, you can just hear me going, presumably as I'm trying to raise my frequency for what is about to happen next. So it's at this point in the session where my perspective starts to change, and my consciousness starts to travel from the perceptional point of Aurora higher up. So my consciousness at this point is melding with Aurora's. whose consciousness is melding with the purple beings. And then at a certain point, the purple light being's consciousness melds with all of the purple light beings, who are like guardians of Alcio, of the central sun, and then they meld consciousness with source. So we actually, through that multi-dimensional link, managed to make it all the way up to source. So I'll carry on reading the session. When will Laura move to the new earth? When the wave from Alcio is triggered by the frequency shift of those on earth who are light, source will send a pulse of love down the branch of consciousness, and all of the lights who are connected down the stars, the suns, they will light up, and the energy will eventually flow from the sun to Gaia. When will this huge wave of light come? Are we talking a few months, a few years? It is happening now. The light has been sent from source. The pulse has activated in the hearts of the people who are ready to rise. The final wave is there. It waits no longer. It waits no longer. It waits no longer. You have a period of mere months in your physical reality to ensure that your frequency is at the resonance required to meet that wave. The wave is there. It is your hearts that must meet it. When your hearts meet the wave, you will see the physical manifestation of the earth. All that is left is for those in the family of light to realize that they are the family of light and connect to the wave. Once they connect to the wave through frequency, they will see the physical manifestation of the new earth plane in their reality. It is occurring now, and it will manifest within months. So I would just like to comment on that when my consciousness was at the level of Aurora, my thoughts and feelings were that the wave will be released when we resonate at a certain frequency. As I went through the session and I raised my consciousness through all of these different levels of my multidimensionality up to source, my perception changed, and I became aware that the wave is there now. The wave is universal love. It's us that have to raise our frequency to connect with that wave of love. Once we raise our frequency enough to connect with that wave of love, which has already been there and provided, we're there on New Earth. So it's entirely up to us how quickly we get ourselves out of this 3D world. The opportunity is there. The opportunity for ascension is there. The consciousness is growing, the frequency is rising. But how quickly we raise our collective frequency depends entirely upon how quickly we see the new earth in our physical reality. It literally lies within us. The wave is there. So as the higher frequency, as I'm moving towards source consciousness, in the now, and I can see everything, I am aware that that wave is there. It's just our frequency that needs to meet it. So the next question Yvette asked is, what will the new earth be like? Can you show Laura? And then I say, there is a huge smile on Laura's face. This feels very emotional for Laura because it carries with it the vibration of Gaia and the vibration of Alcyon and the vibration of many other places that she has known. It is a frequency vibration, a state of being that all beings are in. And to Laura, it feels like home. Laura has quite an obsession with portals. Why is this? We are showing her now many portal systems that she has travelled through. We are showing her the universe and how everything is connected, and that she carries knowledge of Source. Know thyself. You are the universe. You are all one. This was the point where my consciousness really started to progress upwards towards Source, because my perceptional point then just went. At that point I could just see that the people that we are in this realm, we just see each other as separate beings, separate points of consciousness. But the more you travel up your multidimensional self to the top, at that point of consciousness you can see that everybody is all one. Can you explain further how we use these portals? They can only be accessed by the beings who have higher consciousness. In certain places, they have been taken by darkness, but the portal system of the universe is accessed through intent and through the heart space. At this point, my breathing got really, really pronounced as I'm raising my frequency even higher. Can we access the portals at the moment in the density that we are in? Is it possible to access them? In this 3D space, the portals to the higher dimensions are closed. The shift will open the portals once more in that dimension, and all those who ascend with the planet to the new Earth plane will be able to access anywhere that is of the same frequency and vibration as the new Earth. If individuals choose to lower their frequency, to descend to the lower dimensions, that is possible, but it is their choice. And all of the universal network will be open to all those who raise their frequency enough to resonate with Gaia's new expression. Fantastic, thank you. If Laura was to go through a portal, what is the highest dimension that she can reach? Then at this point my breathing and speech really, really alters. My breathing gets very, very pronounced, and this was the point where they literally took me to Source, which was the most incredible experience. I don't even think there's any way that I could put into words what that feels like. It just felt like absolute, pure, unconditional love for everything and everyone, from a point of knowledge that everything out there is Source, and everything is on a journey through consciousness back to Source, to take information back to Source, and eventually to go back to complete oneness. So Yvette had just asked what dimension I could reach. Laura can reach Source. There is no limit to what Laura can reach. She is a part of Source, so she resonates with Source frequency. So she can access, she is there now. And Yvette says, how does it feel to be with Source? And at this point, Yvette told me that I just had tears streaming down my face. And I just looked like pure love, like I was completely blissed out. And she said that the feeling of the love energy in the room was incredible. For me, what I could feel was so incredible, it was almost overwhelming. I couldn't think of, there was no words that I could use to describe it. The fact that I'd actually been allowed a glimpse of what it feels like to be at that perceptual point in the universe was the most profound thing that's ever happened to me. And I knew that I'd gotten there through my consciousness joining with Aurora, joining with the purple being, joining by all of the purple beings, joining to Alcio, who then joined to Source. That was how I was able to access that frequency just through linking up through my multidimensional parts. So at this point I say, we are all one. Everything will come back. It is all me. I am. And Yvette says, Laura is doing phenomenal work on the planet at the moment. We wondered how Dolores Cannon is helping Laura and Qhht. Dolores is an expression of me, and Laura is an expression of me, and everything is an expression of me. I am everything. I sent Dolores into Earth to be the light in a dark place, and she has ignited lights in many. Then Yvette says, am I speaking to Source at the moment? Yes. Thank you so much for coming through and giving us this information. Is there anything we can do to assist? We understand that we are all one, but we so want to help this final phase. Then on the recording, my voice goes so quiet at this point. It's like a whisper. And me personally, where I was so overwhelmed. All I could feel was just pure love for everything, absolutely everything. And I could feel that I was there in the middle of this huge white light energy, but that in everything, wherever I wanted to put my consciousness, I could put my consciousness there, because all of it was me and I was everything. That was the perceptual point of Source. So Source says, be the light in dark places. All is me and I am all. Be the light always. Always choose the light. If there is a choice, be the light always. Each and every one of you are on a journey through consciousness to come back to a realization that you are the light and you are love. And each one of you are helping each other to find your light. You will help me because I am you and you are me. You are journeying back home to me to show me who I am. I am love. I am there in everyone, even in the dark ones. I am there. You all need to remember who you are. You need to find that inside of you. I want you all to come back home. And each time there is a movement through the dimensions, you travel closer to home. That is why many feel the wait has been too long. I wait to take as many as I can with me, because you are me. I wait because I know what you hold inside. And many doubt. Do not doubt. Do not doubt. I know it has felt hard, but it has been necessary to allow you to grow. And now you must believe. And if you believe, you will pass into the new dimension. The key is in you. And Yvette then continued to ask some of my more personal questions to Source, and did my body scan as well, and Source did my body scan. And then Yvette asked Source to recede, because from the perceptual point of Source, Source just can't answer. Source just can't answer many of the questions that we would have, because the questions that we have just aren't even on Source's radar, if you understand what I'm trying to say. So at that point, Yvette asked Source to recede so we could go back down to a lower part of my multidimensional self, so I could get some of my questions answered. And when Source pulled its energy out from my consciousness, I literally thought I was going to die. And I'm not saying that for effect. I thought to myself, because your conscious mind is still there to the side. My conscious mind was still there, even though this higher part of me was all linked up. My conscious mind to one side was going, oh my God, this is literally how I'm going to die. I'm going to die in Yvette's healing room. And, oh, didn't see this coming, that this is how I'm actually going to die during a Qhht session. Because I started to hyperventilate. My higher self, so the purple being had to request at that point that Yvette remove the cover that was covering me in order that I could regulate my frequency. And literally what I was aware of was there were many ascended masters around me pumping light into me in order to stabilize my frequency, because my frequency had gone so high in order to connect to Source, that just to break that connection and come back down again, my physical body really started to struggle. And I had to breathe for what seemed like forever. Like you do when you're in labour. There's often many times during Qhht sessions I liken it to labour. But I had to breathe like I did when I was in labour in order to regulate my frequency. And at a certain point, my higher self said, you may continue asking questions. And I remember my conscious mind at this side was going, no, we can't continue to ask questions now, because I'm still actually freaking out over here. I feel like my heart's going to explode. We still need to sort my frequency out before we carry on asking questions. But my higher self must have known I was okay, and they carried on answering questions on my behalf. So just to give a little synopsis on that, at the beginning of the session, I could see that the wave was love, released by Source, down the suns to Alcio and then to our sun. But by the end of the session, when I was in the now and my frequency was so high and my point of perception was at the same perception of Source, I could see that the wave is already here. The wave is universal love consciousness, and we have access to it now in our realm. It is entirely up to us how quick we exit out of here. We don't need to look to an external force to help us out of here. We are a part of Source, as we have the spark of Source inside of us. As soon as we raise our frequency enough, we will meet the wave, so that will appear to us as if the wave has been triggered. But in actual fact, the wave has been here all along, if you get what I'm saying. And that will launch us into the physical manifestation of the new earth. So that is what I have to say about my session, which happened before Christmas. It was incredible. I don't think I will ever be able to have another Qhht session that will ever top that. And to be honest, for that reason, I don't know if I will even try, because that was just absolutely sensational. And I couldn't do a video on it to start off with. Yvette, my beautiful friend Yvette, who conducted the session, transcribed it and got the information out there on her channel straight away. I couldn't do a video on it because it took me so long for my frequency to come down to a point where I could even talk about it. I just couldn't even talk about it. I couldn't put it into words. If I tried to talk about it, I would just burst into tears because it was the most profound experience I've ever had. It was, I've spent all of my life in this incarnation searching for answers, searching for meaning, searching for what this is all about, searching for why am I here? Why do I feel so weird? What is this? And in that one Qhht session, I learnt more than I guess I've spent my entire life searching for. It gave me everything. And it gave me a sense of peace that is so deep, because having experienced that point of perception, I understand how much Source loves us. The love that Source has for us is stronger than anything you can even begin to imagine, because we are parts of Source. And through the experience that we undertake, we take more information back to Source about what it means to love, to be loved, to lose love, to gain love, unrequited love, all the different distortions. Source wants to learn as much as it can about itself, and through the journey that we are all on, we're taking that information back. And that's what Ascension is. Ascension is spending a certain amount of time in a realm and learning enough about that level of consciousness that you graduate from that level. So in order for us to complete this ascension, we have to truly understand what love means and what it means to give unconditional love to people and receive unconditional love back. So for the people that complain that Ascension's taking too long, that, you know, how much longer is it going to take? The people that sit there and moan and whinge and whine about how terrible it is to be here waiting for Ascension, what I would say to those people is spend less time moaning and whining and whinging about how long Ascension is taking, and concentrate your energy and efforts into making sure that what you hold inside is love, because that is your ticket to the fifth dimension. And on that note, I have a few things that I would like to talk about as we go into this new year. A few things that for me are going to be New Year's resolutions. They are going to be things that I always come back to as the year progresses, and things that I want to hold in my mind and my heart closely. So the first thing that I want to mention is Ascension is all about frequency, love and joy. It's that simple. To ascend, that's what Ascension is. To ascend, you have to resonate at the frequency of love and joy. So I would ask you right now, think about yourself, think about your life. Do you resonate at the frequency of love and joy? If the wave was to come right now, are you resonating at the frequency of love and joy? And if you're not, then that is where your work is for this year. For the year of 2020, your work is to get yourself to a place where you are resonating with love and joy. If you're putting nasty, evil comments on people's YouTube channels who are trying to help people, that is not resonating at the frequency of love and joy. So before you do that, I would ask you to look at yourself, look at what you hold inside, and work on yourself so you are resonating at the frequency of love and joy. That's all you need to do for Ascension. That's it. And as our frequency rises, because the frequency of love and joy is high, as that frequency rises and the new earth plane is here, eventually our frequency matches that new earth plane and we bring it into physical manifestation within our reality. That's why people always talk about such a celebration. You know, in the sessions when people finally make it to new earth, there's such a celebration because we finally made it to the new earth physical reality. That's our work for this year, to be resonating at the frequency of love and joy. There's no buying the frequency of love and joy. There's no faking the frequency of love and joy. That's where the work comes in. You have to do the work inside of you to attain that frequency. The dimensions are about frequency. Ascension is about raising your frequency to the love frequency to ascend. You know, we have a classic example of somebody who was vibrating at the love frequency. Jesus. He came here to show us how to ascend in preparation for this time. So we had an actual physical example of what ascension is, so we could do it at this time. That's what he was trying to show us, that through the vibration of love you can ascend out of this realm. The second thing that I would like to say to everybody, and I mentioned this earlier on in my video, I am not focusing on timescales anymore, because after my own personal Qhht session that I had at the back end of 2019, where I travelled up to the frequency of source, I am no longer going to talk about timescales about ascension, because ascension is happening. We don't need, I almost feel like we've got to the point where we don't need to talk about timescales anymore. What we need to do is focus on building our frequency and building the energy that's around love on this planet. That is where our work is this year. So you will not get any talk from me about timescales for ascension, because every time we say a timescale and it doesn't happen in that timescale, all it does is bursts the bubble, and that is the absolute opposite of what I want to do. My work that I will be doing this year with my YouTube channel is building the energy around ascension, building excitement around ascension, building excitement around getting to the new earth. You know, what are going to be some of the things that we want to do when we get to new earth? We've spent that much time considering how we get there. When we get there, what are we going to do? I want to start building excitement around that. You know, talking about ideas and concepts about the kind of world that we see ourselves living in on the new earth. You know, ascension is a state of consciousness. It's a state of being. It doesn't matter what the time scale is. We have to get to that state of being to ascend. So if we're spending all of our time considering time scales, then we're taking our eye off the ball, basically. The only ball that we should have our eye on is attaining the frequency necessary to get to the new earth, not how long that is going to take. And if we systematically push our frequency up as a collective, it is a mathematical and scientific certainty that we will get there. The other thing that I'm going to be reminding myself of is not to get caught up in the craziness of the 3D world. You know, it's getting very crazy out there, and this year in particular is going to get very, very, very crazy because of the things that are scheduled to come up in this calendar year. So whilst you can keep an eye, and I think it's prudent and wise to keep half an eye on what's happening in 3D, do not place any of your emotion or energy into that. Your focus needs to be on increasing your vibrational frequency to birth the new earth. And what I would like to see this year is us build the love energy on the planet by connecting our hearts, our light, and consciously connecting to our planet. We must build that love frequency. Something else that I will be taking into this new year from my experience of the Christmas period is do not let anybody have the power to alter your frequency. You and you alone are in control of your frequency. Do not let anybody have control of that. People can have their own opinions, their own views. Some of the more closed off people believe that Ascension is a load of old tosh, a fancy idea, and it's good to stay grounded. Yeah, whatever. Don't let any of those people colour what you feel inside, because you know Ascension is real. That's why you came. Do not let anybody have the power to affect your frequency. You have that power alone, and it is your sole responsibility to keep working on your frequency as an individual and also as a collective this year in order that we birth that new physical reality. And what I would also like to see in this new year is all of us to stop passively waiting for Ascension to happen to us and to start actively participating within our own Ascension and actively working on ourselves, our frequencies, and actively working with each other in order to make this Ascension happen. I'd like everybody to have an awareness of helping somebody at least once a day, doing something for somebody else. Because, you know, when you do that, all you do is increase your own energy. All you do is increase the positive energy that comes your way, helping others. And, you know, if we can change our outlook as a collective of people and realise that helping somebody else is as good as helping yourself, then we are going to go places this year. I'd like to encourage everybody to meditate daily. I know many people don't see the benefit in it, but I have to say, as an example, meditation saved my life over the past 3 weeks, because if I could not go away and meditate at the end of the day and let go of everybody else's negativity and frequency that I had absorbed throughout the day, bring the light in and reset my frequency, I don't know how I would have got through the past 3 weeks. Meditation is key. Do not underestimate the power of meditation. Also, it's something that we can do all over the world together. We can join our light together as a community of light workers all over the world. So something that I'm going to start doing on a Wednesday night at 10 o'clock. I've chosen Wednesday because it's my first working day of the week, and I have childcare on a Wednesday, so I'm going to be able to do that. On Wednesday at 10 p.m. UK time, every Wednesday, I'm going to bring the light down from source, through my crown, through my chakra system, down through my feet, down into the earth. I'm going to focus on sending love to Gaia. I'm going to focus then shooting that love out to everything across the entire planet, to every grain of sand, rock, stream, ocean, tree, humanity, all of the different kingdoms, the fairies, the unicorns, the ocean kingdoms. I'm going to send light all the way around the planet, and I'm going to focus on unconditional love, joining every single heart on this planet. And I'm going to focus on seeing the new earth manifest in our physical reality. And I'm going to do that every single Wednesday at 10 p.m. UK time. And for anybody who would like to join me, I would love you to join your light to mine every Wednesday at 10 p.m. UK time in order to bring some new energy to this ascension. We must build the light. And Gaia, our planet, needs to know that we are here for her, that those of us on the surface are sending our light down to her. So that is something that I want to do. And the final thing that I want to say is, if you live your life in the now, so right here, right now, in high frequency, in joy, in love, in gratitude, every breath you take grateful for who you are and where you are and what you can feel, see, touch, experience. If you live your life with that degree of love and passion and joy, it will be no time before you experience that new earth plane as your physical reality. Live your life now as if you are on the new earth, and that is what you will experience. And that is what I'm going to be focusing my YouTube channel on over this next year, is being in joy, being in the love energy. I'm still going to keep bringing all of the information that I always have brought from all of my sessions, from the clients that agree to share their anonymized information. I'm still going to keep sharing all of that because everybody's interested in it, and for us starseeds, I can keep hearing that kind of stuff. It keeps many of us going because it gives us a taste of home. But what I do want to focus on as well, and I will focus a part of my video every week on this, is building the love energy and frequency on this planet and joining together as a family of light. So final thoughts to leave you with before I close the video today. I know it's been a very long one today, but I have had so much to say because I've not done a video for 3 weeks. Final thoughts. Do things that are going to make you happy, that bring you joy, so you are in joy. You know, when you're in joy, you're vibrating high, and that's what you need to be. You need to be vibrating as high as you can. Do things for other people, as giving increases your frequency. Get out into nature as much as possible because that raises your frequency. Meditate daily. Eat good quality, high vibration food that contains love. So that contains light from the sun, water from Gaia. Bless your food when you're cooking it. I always put love and light out of my hands into my food as I cook it. Drink good quality water that does not contain fluoride. Bless your water before you drink it. Put light and love into your water before you drink it. That raises your frequency. Look for ways to connect your light to other people's light, because it's like two torches that have started to burn low. When you put those two torches together, it sparks the light back off in both of them. Put your light together with somebody else and see how we can increase the light energies on this planet. One final thing to say, I did a radio show before Christmas on the 22nd of December on Circle of White Light Radio. It was a 2-hour radio show that was basically the interviewers just asking me questions on Ascension. There were lots and lots of things that came up in that I've never been asked before, and I really had to think on my feet. I even got a question asked about sex, which, yeah, that was interesting. Not been asked a question about that topic for a while. Good job it was radio. You could see the whites of my eyes. So if you haven't had a chance to listen to that, please do check that out. I will put the link to the podcast in the text of this YouTube video. I've got so many quantum healing sessions booked over the next couple of months. It's absolutely fabulous. So many of you have booked in to see me, which I'm eternally grateful for. I can't wait to meet you all. I can't wait to help you facilitate your journey through your consciousness, to meet your multidimensional parts. I feel very honoured that you have chosen to have a quantum healing session with me. So thank you so much. My sessions have gone in January, and the majority have gone in February. I think there might be 2 left in February, and some have gone in March as well. So if you do want to have a session with me this year, my website, I do all of my bookings through my website, which is www.laurawhitworthqhht.com. You click on the book now button at the top. It won't work if you do it on your phone. You have to do it actually on a laptop PC. Click on the book now button and it will take you to the list of my available appointments, which you can then book. I live in Derbyshire, in Chesterfield in the UK, which is near the Derbyshire Dales, Jane Austen country. So for Jane Austen fans, they filmed much of the footage for Pemberley in the Pride and Prejudice series at Chatsworth House, which is about 30 minutes away from me. It's beautiful rolling British countryside where I am, and I am just on the outskirts of the Peak District. So if you would like to take a holiday to the UK and coincide that with a visit to me for a quantum healing session, please do book in and come and see me. Also as well in the UK, don't forget you have Glastonbury, the heart chakra of the world. That heart chakra could do with a lot of light pumping into it from a lot of light workers. So if you feel the need to come to the UK and send some light into Gaia's heart chakra and also nip up and see me as well, that would be great. But there are quantum healing practitioners based everywhere, all over the world. Wherever you are, there is a quantum healing practitioner. There's 3,000 of us and more training all of the time. And to find your local Qhht practitioner, go to www.qhhtofficial.com, click on search for a practitioner, wait for the filters to come up, type in your location, and all of the practitioners in that geographical area will come up. There's one everywhere. So everybody all over the world can find a local official Qhht practitioner. And the final thing to say is, this is it. We are in 2020 now, and so many people are awake now. So many people are aware of Ascension, and what I would like to see as a member of the light community, what I would love to see is for everybody to start working together now, putting all of their egos to one side, because it's not about ego. The 3D realm is about ego. We need to work together to build this frequency so we can exit onto this new earth plane. And if we all of us join our hearts and our light together, that is exactly what we will manifest. So until next week, when I record my next video, make sure you keep vibrating high. And if Christmas has knocked your frequency down through having to spend time with people who have a lower frequency than you, Do things over these next couple of weeks that are going to make you feel wonderful. Get your frequency back up. Meditate. Get out into nature. Self-care. Give yourself a body scrub all over. Have a lovely bath with aromatherapy oils. Whatever it is that floats your boat, that makes you feel good, do it and get that frequency back up, because we need to be flying so high this year. And don't let anybody have an impact on your frequency. You alone control that. So till the next time I see you guys, make sure you keep vibrating high. Lots and lots of love and happy 2020.